do love to cook. We love our food.
You do. And he brought something that was really popular when we were together and you were with David in the kitchen with David on Wednesday night. It's a bestseller and it's a kitchen must-have, especially if you love to cook with meat, whether it's thick sirloin steaks, roasts, whether it's pork chops or chicken. It is a meat tenderizer, but boy, does this look different than probably what you've seen before. It's from Deni. It's got 45 stainless steel blades inside, all working for you.
Razor sharp. You know, food is about texture and flavor. These blades are going to go into the meat. They're going to tenderize it. But you know, here's the thing, Stacy. It's going to also allow you to get incredible flavor. Your marinades, your dry rubs, all those seasonings get into the meat now fast and quick. Okay.
Awesome. All right, I got 3 colors for you, and red's already jumping ahead and very popular right now. But if you love green for your kitchen, we have that. We have blue, and look it down here. We have black. And how about the orange? The black is limited. And remember, no reorder. We're going to have other Denny's, but this model is the one that'll be going away. And the clearance price is $16 and change. Okay, so what kind of, is this an inexpensive cut of meat?
Yeah, so you can literally transform any meat. This is flank steak, typically and notoriously very chewy meat. You have to marinate it for hours and hours. But guess what? When you take the Deni tenderizer and go into this meat, you're breaking down those long tendons, those long things you see going across. That's what makes the meat chewy. Well, now literally about 30 seconds, we're going to tenderize this meat, and you can see these blades are so sharp, they're going right down into the meat. So instead of trying to use, you know, the old-fashioned fork, these blades are razor sharp. I'm going to lift this up. You can take a look here. These are little tiny channels. So when you put in your dry rubs, your marinades, your seasonings, it's going to soak it down into the meat. So instead of marinating this piece of flank steak for hours, literally the time it takes to heat up your oven, your grill, your pan, and anywhere you're cooking it, you're going to soak in that marinade. So instead of spending overnight or planning, you're going to have that same result in minutes, and I mean minutes.
That's awesome, because there's so many times I get home from work and I'm like, oh, chicken, I didn't marinate it.
That's right.
Then I feel like I can't cook it. If I had this tenderizer, I could easily set that in the marinade and within 15 minutes start cooking that and the flavor will be the same.
It is. I always laugh because people come over and they say, oh my gosh, how long did you marinate? How did you do this? I want to cut you a piece here, just a little piece. So I want you to tell me, and this is, I cooked just about medium rare there. Tell me what you think of the texture and the flavor.
It is so buttery soft. It is so moist. And I'm tasting the flavor throughout the entire thing as opposed to it just being on top.
That's right. It's not a surface flavor. You know what we always, when we had the restaurant, we were always trying to coax flavor into our food and try to get that maximum texture and flavor. You literally could spend minutes in the kitchen and get that great result that you would get at a restaurant.
Awesome. Think about chicken breast.
That's right.
The driest part of the meat, but to have channels going down to hold the fat and the juices so the flavor can be there so it can stay moist for you. And all it did was take a couple of seconds to use.
Couple of seconds. And this is what I love about it. So if you're like me, I'm always doing different things. Meats, you know, whether it's beef, poultry, chicken. You can get 2 different colors here, so you can keep one for your chickens. But look at this, look at these blades, okay? Look how sharp they are. They go all the way down through this thick chicken breast. And guess what? Chicken is so dense, Stacy. Usually when you marinate chicken, it doesn't absorb the marinade. But here's the thing. Other people are familiar with other types of tenderization, which includes these type of hammers. Look what happens when I actually try to use this hammer, okay? I want you to see something. When you use this hammer, you're literally tearing the chicken apart. So you're tenderizing it, but you're really turning it almost into a chicken burger.
Exactly.
Who wants that?
Yeah, you're ruining the piece of meat. You wouldn't want to do that if that was a nice filet. Or something that was expensive or more pricier. Can I try it? I want to see what type of pressure that I need to use.
I tell you what, I'm going to yeah, go ahead, go right in there. I want you to see.
Just press down?
Yep, just press down.
Oh, no, I don't need to put a lot of pressure at all. It goes right through it like
blades
butter.
are super sharp, but here's the other thing. There's a spring, a heavy spring in there that pushes the blades back out. That's what I love about it. So people that try to use forks, you have to pull the fork out. These spring the blades right back out of the meat, so it makes it incredibly easy.
I love to cook pork chops, bone-in pork chops in my house, but I got to tell you, sometimes if I'm not right on top of it cooking it, it comes out dry because it's a tougher piece.
That's right.
And then the kids won't touch it. If I had this meat tenderizer to put into the pork chop, oh my gosh, that would probably be phenomenal.
Now, here's a great idea. I'm glad you just mentioned pork chops, okay? So if you really want to get a lot of flavor into the meat, take your dry rubs, take your marinades, put them on first. Then take the Deni Tenderizer and watch what happens. It literally blasts the flavor down. And look at the blades, how they go right through the meat, penetrate without tearing it. So all that seasoning, your favorite dry, even if you're just using salt and pepper, Stacy, I always tell people, take any cut of meat that you're normally doing on the grill, in the pan, in the oven, use the Deni Tenderizer for about 30 seconds first, and you're gonna see a transformation of flavor and texture that you've never could imagine.
And pork chops that are fork tender, melt in your mouth tender.
And it's just, to me, it makes things so simple in the kitchen to give you all that flavor.
It's awesome. Okay, here's the thing. It's 5 o'clock. If you're just joining us, we are shopping for great kitchen helpers at clearance price. But this means once they go, they are gone. And this one is going to give you tender, melt in your mouth, tender meat and flavorful meat. And it doesn't have to be meat. We could use this to help marinate some fish.
Fish, actually, most fishes are pretty delicate, but a tuna steak, which is a really thick, like a heavy steak,
or like maybe you could poke some swordfish just to get the marinade
a really meaty
in.
fish, to get the marinade in. I'd be gentle with that, but yeah, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so here are my color choices. I want you to get this home because it's 25% off and it's less than $17 and it's customer top rated. Here's your blue. Remember, there's 45 stainless steel blades in this meat tenderizer. Working for you. Here's the red. Here's your green. Then we have the black, very limited now. And here is your orange. Great reviews. We had some of them up on your screen. 400 gone. And this is where you can save yourself some money because now you can buy those less expensive cuts of beef that will still taste as tender as a filet.
There was, London broils, flank steaks we showed you. But here's the other thing. Even a whole bird, this is a chicken, all the flavor stays on the skin on the outside. Well, if you go into that breast meat like I am on this chicken, think about it. While you're roasting it, those juices, those seasonings that you put on the outside are actually going to now settle into the meat so that ordinarily dry breast meat becomes moist and flavorful. And again, it's so simple. And you can see it has this big handle. I literally just push the blades down into the chicken breast away from the bone area, and that easy. I've tenderized, but I've also created these channels. So all those seasonings, when you put those seasonings on your bird, and I always tell people, even if you're just using salt and pepper, the natural juices of the meat soak back in to give you that flavor.
So it only makes sense that if we're cooking a big turkey on Thanksgiving,
100%.
to go ahead and do that again because you're creating little holes or channels, essentially,
flavor channels. I like
for
that.
all the juices and the fat to sit and keep that meat moist, so it becomes just so buttery and tender. It's going to transform the food that you already love.
Correct.
And make it even more enjoyable because it's soft. I love, eating is a very sensory experience.
Correct.
From the way you smell to how it feels in your mouth.
It is. We always say that the holy grail of the chefs is how do you get that perfect combination of texture and flavor? And these blades that go into the meat, they're giving you that texture because normally to get a really tender piece of meat, you'd have to either have it dry aged or marinated for days, right? Now we've actually accelerated that by getting these blades into the meat, down into those sinewy tendons. Shorten those fibers so it's tender, but then I can't emphasize enough, if you look at the meat here, there's these little tiny channels. They're going to allow that flavor. Even if you're just using salt and pepper, the natural fats and juices soak into the meat so you get that great texture, the smoke from the grill, all those great flavors get into the meat.
Let me give you an update because remember, once this is gone, that's it. This model of the Deni is not coming back. So if you want the black that you're seeing right here, I have less than 200 to go around, and that is it. We're good in the orange, we have green, red's always popular with our foodies, and we also have it in the blue. And here's the great thing. This is dishwasher safe.
Top shelf in the dishwasher. If you don't have a dishwasher, super hot soapy water right after you use it. And I always recommend rinsing it right away before you put it in the dishwasher. But here is that big, thick pork chop. And you can just show people how easy it is to use.
Okay, show me how to take this, take it off, or has the lock or unlock button.
I'm glad you mentioned that. So it comes with a cover, This is going to protect the blades, but right on the front, you're going to notice there's a little locking mechanism. So I can actually lock the blades, and notice this. With it locked, the blades can't come out. So I recommend keeping it locked because these are really sharp blades. Simply unlock it, then the blades come out, and you can go right into your meat. Just that easy.
Tender, melt in your mouth pork. Pork like you've never had it before. 1,000 now gone out the door. Again, there is no reorder, so grab this now. K43351 is your item number for the Deni. Rick, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Always
have a
great
day.
Always
See you
great
soon.
to see you. What's coming up next? Chef Joe, imagine that with that silicone set.